about this in a previous podcast. Like when it got to like 2008, I brought my mum to a show in Jakarta, and she was like, "Finally, I see that this is a real job." And now with the whole COVID situation, it's like, "Oh, you're disposable again."
Yeah.
Oh, great! I should have been a lawyer.
All the work you did, because
I should have been a doctor or a shelf
stacker. But to be honest, lawyers are struggling at the moment as well. So, Mum, not necessarily a good idea.
I don't think my parents ever had the faith that I would achieve being a lawyer or a doctor. So they never gave me that advice. Yeah. Like, reach for the stars, within your means. Yeah.
All right. Well, the other, I'll try and bring us back onto topic. It's a personal question here. 13 Days and About Last Night. How'd you come up with those names?
You first.
Okay, so...
I can only imagine for about last night.
Exactly.
I've got my own stories going on right now.
Well, it's actually not it's not as funny as that. Unfortunately, it was just the hashtag. I kept on seeing the hashtag, to be honest, and I thought it'd be a clever name to play off that. Especially
and get more views.
Basically. That was it.
That's very strategic.
I feel I should have made something.
No, but that's actually really strategic.
It was strategic. It was.
There should be like a whole story behind it. It's like, we were like, I don't know, drinking tequila. We were having this great time. We woke up and it's like we were all thinking about what happened about last night.
Well, we kind of thought then, after we did that, we were like, well, it's a clever name because obviously it's all about experiences the night before, especially when most people come to see us there,
Well, you would
they
be,
don't remember the
you
next
would be
night.
a lot of people's about last night stories.
Exactly.
That's
kind of what we were going on.
Yeah, very nice. 13 Days?
My favourite thing not about the name, but all the artwork that you guys do. Have you seen like the stuff they do with the logos and the design? It's super cool. It's very cool. Like, what is it, like cyberpunky?
Yes, cyberpunk.
Neon kind of stuff, which I may have stolen for some of our videos, which is excellent. But no, like the way you've done the look and the brand of it is super cool.
Very cool.
Nice.
13 Days is we were originally we had that first band I was in was called Hybrid Monkeys.
I love that.
Because I wanted to be like Arctic Monkeys.
Okay.
Then 13 Days was originally called RAD, which stands for Red Army Day, which is the Russian military day. And all the branding was like with red stars and stuff. And then we were like, ooh, that might be a bit aggressive. So 13 Days...
As you're driving a tank.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 13 Days... So I used to work as a kite surf instructor for many years. And that's what I was doing when I did that first gig. And 13 Days is the name of the very first kite surf extreme sports DVD. So it was like 13 days with these pro kiters doing like going and touring and doing all that cool stuff. So we were like, okay, we're working kiting, that sounds cool. Yeah. And it doesn't really mean anything, so let's use that.
I thought it had to do with when I saw the way you spelt it as well, I thought it was like Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, that's where
some people think that. Yeah,
I thought it was a play off that.
Them, but I've ruined it now.
No,
so.
Yeah, it's kites.
Yeah,
it's kites.
Kites. Yeah,
all about kites. It's rock and roll, isn't
it? Right. Well, guys, before we jump into sort of like the COVID effect, sadly, with that everyone went through.
What effect?
I know, the COVID effect.
The C word.
The C word. But before all that, your gig schedules were pretty packed, weren't they? You were like sort of non-stop.
Yeah, I think what we're doing 4 at least.
We're doing 4.
It says non-stop, but I think there are musicians who do a lot more.
It was pretty healthy.
Yeah, I think it was quite a good schedule, but we did plan it that way for the venues because we didn't want to just overload everything, and then people get bored.
And then people see you everywhere. Then it's a little bit too much. And
also, I think that if a musician's playing 6-7 days in a row, they're going to get bored, and then it's going to show.
Yeah, so exactly. The enthusiasm would be there.
We didn't want people to feel like jobbing musicians, where they're I've got to go and earn my money now. We wanted them to be like, come on, let's go. And then
no, you guys are always great. Like I've seen you guys down at LSB. So you sort of do a rotation between the two.
So in our company, so we have 3 venues that we do the live music: Lock, Stock and Barrel Barsha, Lock, Stock and Barrel JBR, and Wave House at Atlantis as well. So we've got 3 full-time bands, and then we rotated every week. So every week they'd have their own residency. Keeps it fresh for us, keeps it fresh for the audience as well. And then as we got bigger, we got more. We got another venue, so we got another band in who are called Red Light. And then they were doing that venue and then joined in some of the rotation. But it was I wouldn't say it was hectic, but I think the amount of energy we put in on those days certainly made up for not playing on the other days.
Of course.
Yeah, it's quality over quantity.
For sure,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And you know, those, let's say the Friday night, let's say at JBR,
Everybody's favourite.
Yeah, I mean, you don't. The only way that Friday night works is because we're not giving them everything throughout that week. You build up to that, and you leave them wanting more.
Yeah.
And on that Friday night, it goes off. You know, it's 1,400 people going crazy.
I think I saw half of them leaving the other night. Actually, I was like outside the Rixos. It was definitely mental.
Yeah. I mean, also the set timings as well. So we decided that before Lock, Stock 1 opened, I was sort of doing my research around town, and I was sort of looking at the patterns of what people did, and it was always like 3 sets of 1 hour, 4 sets of 1 hour, 6 nights a week. Let's do this theme night, and we were like, no. We're going to do 2 sets of 45 minutes. We're going to make those 2 sets awesome, and that's all you're getting. So you can come back next time.
Yeah.
So
It's normal gig.
Which works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Which
it
is really
works.
good.
It does work.
It does
Yeah.
work because
It means
it's
that
just
we can
enough.
scream
Yeah.
a lot louder instead. Because
Yeah.
one thing I don't like doing is, I must save my voice for that third set. No,
Yeah.
do it all now.
Oh yeah, there definitely
and it
isn't
becomes
much
like a proper
voice there.
performance. Otherwise, just backing music.
Yeah,
To be honest,
exactly.
Yes,
like if you do
exactly.
too much throughout the evening,
You're at a concert. You're at a
you're
gig.
at a gig, and
Yeah.
people are going to stop and you're going to watch it for like 45 minutes, and you can carry on and do whatever you need to do.
And that's what music should be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be just, a background. I mean, yes, okay. In some places it works. And
Yeah,
of course,
of
if you're in a
course.
jazz bar,
Depends on
Yeah.
what they're about. Yeah.
But if you're going to have a band,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be just put the band on for the sake of it because
Yeah.
we want some music
Yeah.
there. I mean, a DJ can do that.
Yeah.
Spotify can do that.
Yeah.
The whole point is it's an experience.
Yeah.
An experience isn't just. You're not just hearing the music. You're
Yeah.
watching the music.
You're in the music.
Feeling
You're
it.
in there.
Yeah,
The frequencies from those speakers that are
Yeah.
hitting you, the lights, the ambience of that audience. You can't replicate that anywhere
Yeah.
else.
It's
That
like
is a gig.
Even when we're doing events, like there's a massive difference between when you've got, a live band getting up there and
Exactly.
depending on how many are in the band or whether
Yeah.
it's a DJ
Oh, of
playing,
course.
it makes a big difference and the energy they bring
Yeah.
makes it really defines the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then all of a sudden you were going
I
to say something.
I might slightly jump
Go,
into your
detour it. Go,
question.
go.
Because you mentioned that the vital thing. Then it's about the experience. It's about feeling the music. It's about being part of that. And I mean, let's face it, that's something we've all missed, I guess, for like the last 6 or so months is now.
Heartbreaking.
And the whole reason, obviously, why you guys are here today is that Lily sent me a message and she was in Lock, Stock, and she's like, oh my God, there's live music.
Live
I can
music.
finally
We were making
feel and
noise.
see it.
I actually,
Of
like,
course.
I actually sent Dan a snippet. I go, share. I go, you got to hear it. Because I knew you were home working on pitches. Like, the
Yeah.
poor guy's been day and night non-stop.
Yeah.
And I'm
Possibly.
like, here, let me give you a little
A
bit of
nugget
joy.
of
A
light
little
at the
nugget
end
of joy.
of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I kid
absolutely.
you not,
It's
shed a
been
tear.
barren and dry and boring, I'm
Yeah.
sure, for all of us.
Well, that sort of is where my question was leading. I go, pre-COVID, nice, healthy sort of schedule, and then COVID hits, like the events world, music, live
It's one
music,
of the first
just
to go, wasn't it?
Yeah.
gone.
First to go, last to come
Last
back.
to come back.
And we can see that across the world.
But
Yeah.
then at the same time, when things do level out and things do go back to normal, which they will at one point,
the real normal.
The
not
real
normal,
not the new normal.
I don't want to
That's
talk
not
about the
new
new
normal.
We're all on the same
Everybody,
page
John
there.
is promising. Everything will be fine.
It really
Yeah.
will, eventually.
Eventually, humanity finds a way to, we've been through
Well,
this many times.
humanity
And
wants it,
of course.
And also as well, we're creatures of habit. We'd like to go back to the things which we enjoy and that we're familiar with.
Of course, and we like
Yeah.
to socialize, and
Of
it's simple as
course,
that.
yeah.
And when it does, the irony is, the entertainers will be at the forefront of that
Yeah.
to actually entertain those tourists that are coming
Yeah.
in and the people that just want to.
And the whole cultural revival across the world,
Yeah,
music
absolutely,
and the
yeah.
arts and stuff have played such a pivotal role in defining society.
Exactly. One of the best things, it was a quote from a comedian. I think I saw it on your page at
Okay.
one point, where they said, basically, what got people through COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Art and
It was-
culture. It was
it
music.
was.
Yeah,
it was
was.
Netflix.
But don't you think it's weird as well?
know?
Not only with live performance, like the fact that like no
Books.
new movies are coming out
No, nothing.
or anything, and you're like, oh, I've finished Netflix now.
Yeah.
What
And then-
next?
Yeah.
yeah.
So
But doesn't Tiger King feel like a long time ago?
Oh, doesn't it?
Like it feels like the world has
It's
changed
changed.
since then.
But like, look, but even during the lockdown and all of that, what was keeping everyone's spirits up? You had bands getting on, Zoom and streams and everything and singing together. You had DJs getting on track, and playing in their own lounge rooms just for
temporary measure.
Only temporary. But what I'm saying is,
we're going to get to live.
No. It's definitely got to go back to live. But what I'm saying is, that kept people's spirits going. That's what brought people together.
It gave us something to do as well.
Exactly.
Because you can't just sit there. Well, you can, but it's sitting there doing nothing. It was really hard to be motivated because I think we all did. Most bands in Dubai certainly did something online.
Did you guys sort of connect during that time? Was it like, or did you sort of work within, connect within yourselves, or was there a lot of support?
Within each band, of course, we do our own thing in each band. Yeah. I have a bit more contact with the guys from like a work side of things in that role. So, we were all talking. I don't think we were. I think everyone was just doing their own little projects and at their own pace. Because I get bored very quickly. I think we did like 10 videos in 10 weeks, which was a bit too much. And then the rest of my band were like, dude, can we not?
You do more work than before COVID.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you were doing your original music, video shoots as well at home.
We were.
I think in terms of support, it's like hey, that video was cool and that kind of thing.
It's interesting though because like the whole thing is so new to everybody. Like it's just so weird, like being confined to your home and not being able to do the things that you actually enjoy doing was so weird. So I think many people kind of handle things very differently.
Yes.
Like you said, some people might go back into themselves, or some people want to be creative and use it as an experience to kind of express themselves.
Yeah.
It's just.
But like as creatives, like to all of a sudden to have to turn. Do you know what I mean? Especially creatives, you're inspired by everything around you.
And also,
you're stimulated by things around you.
You mentioned earlier, you're not doing the gigs for the sake of a job. Like obviously you get paid for it, and but it's a lifestyle. And all of a sudden, that whole lifestyle is taken away from you, or not necessarily taken away, but it's prohibited for a while.
Yes.
It's quite hard to handle.
Yeah, like
it's weird. Like I really struggle to be honest.
Like, for 3 o'clock in the morning, we're not standing on site. What's going on?
Yeah,
I
miss that chafing.
I miss it. I miss it. I miss that delirious feeling.
Anyway,
But so that all happened. You guys sort of did your own thing, tried to stay creative, supported each other, and then when did you hear? Well, how did it come that yes, you can sort of get back on stage? Because that was the 24th.
Well. So that the rule that you could be back on stage was in place quite a bit before that, but there was a bit of sort of pushing and shoving of how should we do it and should we do it, because of course my thing was right when we go back, we're going back big and I'm doing nothing else. Right, because you want it to be Lock, Stock and Barrel's got that. What's the word? We can cut this bit later.
That's all right. We might keep it in.
Looking for reputation.
Yep.
So it's got the reputation of big, massive shows.
Yeah.
Right. So I wanted to after we got shut down in March, it's like right, whenever we come back, we're going to hit it hard and it's going to be the best night ever. Yeah. But then you're just waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. So the rules were, as you guys know, one performer on stage at a time.
Which is not good for a band.
How can we do that? But we thought about, right, why don't we put
rotate
us on stage and then the guy can go up on the other level on the drums. And
I was going to feel like maybe you could play around with spacing.
We thought about it, but then when I thought about it, that's rubbish. So, so we decided, okay, what we'll do is we'll go around the bands and see which guys can do solo gigs. And we didn't want to use like tracks and things. We wanted it to be live, so guitar or keys or something like that.
They weren't available, so they used us instead.
Yeah, exactly. So eventually they came to us. So then we decided to run it almost like an open mic, but just with us. So we went ahead and did it. You guys were there.
Listen, I honestly shed a tear. I honestly got emotional. I know, total loser with a capital L, but I just sort of.
Why did you shed a tear?
Honestly, I forgot how good it felt to listen to live music.
Going back to your point, that's the incredible feeling. I think once that starts to come back for people,
I
it's
had
just like
goosebumps,
connection.
and not just that. I love acoustic. Like I
Me
love
too.
a band.
Yeah.
As good. Like honestly, there's nothing that replaces a band. That energy is amazing, but that acoustic, that one-on-one, and we had the table right up the front. So I forgot about all the other people there. You were singing to me, man. That was it. It was it. It was a
Lily was like
performance.
throwing her underwear at the
You know, I'm like, this is just for me. But honestly, it was because it felt so good.
Yeah.
Do you know,
And you
I'm
guys,
happy
and
to hear that.
also because you guys were freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm going like
Take it.
Honestly, take
Yeah.
it. Like I'm,
I'll take
you
what
know,
I can get.
I
Yeah,
definitely don't throw compliments around lightly, but it was really good.
Do you know, but I'm happy to hear that, because for me, I don't know about you, but for me it was very different, because I was just shitting it.
Yeah, it was.
Because not only
I get that though.
not
I
only
get
had
that.
we not played live for 5 months, like, I don't know about you, but I'd not played solo for about 5 years.
Okay.
So like when I'm playing in the band now, because I've got such good musicians around me, I'm used to just backing off and doing the bits that's needed, and we let all the other music come in and do its thing. But when you play on your own, you've got to make sort of that sound.
Oh yeah, you're
yourself.
like
Yeah.
you're
So,
bare.
like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, you don't have that
You're
kind
exposed.
of safety net.
You're
or the,
bare.
that's
yeah,
yeah,
because if you
that's
mess
it.
it up,
Yeah.
it's
The rest of the
all on
team.
you.
You were
Yeah.
you were like you're stripped bare. It's you
Yeah.
and the music and what you can offer, and you guys brought it. And I think there was something so cozy about the venue as
Yeah.
well. Like, you know, there was limited and everything of the numbers and stuff, but there wasn't a single person in that audience that did not appreciate what you guys did that night.
Well, I think that the people were so happy just to have something
Yeah.
that it made our job really
Oh,
easy.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I played super bad on that night, but I don't think anyone noticed.
No one noticed.
Which,
No
which
one
is a good
noticed, I
thing,
can tell you that
'cause they
now.
were too excited to hear everything. So like I came off, you know, all sweaty little triad, and but the response, even just before we started playing, I walk on stage to announce it, and everyone's like, "Yeah," and I'm like,
Best night ever.
"Wait,
You're
it might
like,
be rubbish."
awesome! And you actually did that. You're like, hold on, before you get too excited.
Yeah.
Caveat, we don't normally sing like this,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, but then we had to explain the rules as well, which is a
Yeah,
bit sad.
I love it. He
Yeah.
goes, so you're not allowed to get up and dance. You're not allowed to smile. You're not allowed to have fun.
No.
You know,
mean,
that's
that's kind
just remember that.
That's how the
Yeah,
virus
I-
spreads.
I like
Yeah.
to bring things
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Fun.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
It stayed up. It stayed
No,
up.
it was a great night, though, wasn't it?
Oh, it was
Hey,
electric.
What order did we do?
You were first.
You were
I did a
first.
few songs to start with.
Then,
didn't I? And
Robbo.
Then Rob from Gorgeous George,
And then it
Then were
was
you?
me, and then it
and then Paul from
Paul
Gorgeous
and-
George,
yeah.
and
I'm
then I
surprised
came
Lily
on.
doesn't know the full set, to be honest.
Tell me,
Yeah.
it's really
You were
bad.
like,
And then
I was too busy messaging
came on
you.
again, didn't I?
Yes, you
Oh,
came
but
on
we
again.
stopped doing that because that's
Yeah.
just weird. But yeah.
No, it was great. But is it Paul who was last? Who did the
Paul's
the cover? Oh yeah,
the guy with
that
the beard
was
and-
awesome.
Yeah, really gets that crowd going.
That one was
What
awesome.
was it? The one he did, the
The
Bella
Spanish-
Ciao.
Oh yeah.
Bella
Yeah.
Ciao. Everyone was singing.
Paul
it.
did-
I
Paul
didn't
did,
know the words, but I was singing it.
I have no idea what you're going on about
You
right
got-
now.
So,
gotta
okay,
take you
I'll
in.
tell you. So Paul got up and did this Italian song, Bella
Yeah.
Ciao, which I
Yeah.
think is from some
Ah,
Netflix.
yeah.
It's from a Netflix show.
Money Heist.
So,
Money
yes,
Heist, yes.
that's right. So
See,
he,
you know.
I didn't know.
He did the whole thing.
Only because I've seen it with drag queens before, but anyway, completely different from
Good.
Lock, Stock, kind of.
So
Well,
he did
Paul
the whole
was
thing,
dressed in drag.
and he had the stomp box to do the beat, and it's a very upbeat song, and it changes rhythms. Everyone loved it, and he's singing it
Nice.
all in Italian.
Oh, wow.
But right in front of him
Remember,
was
sitting
two
next to us.
Italians, and they're just looking at him going, "Nope."
No, not right.
No,
Take it
wrong
It's
now.
like
No.
you're doing it wrong,
You're
and he's just
pronouncing
like.
it wrong.
But he was like, you know, bugger it. I'm just gonna go for it. I know you're telling me I'm doing it wrong, but
I'm
hey.
owning it.
Well,
He-
for
oh,
anyone
you wouldn't
else,
have
it
known.
sounded
You
pretty
wouldn't
Oh, it was
have
Italian.
known.
awesome.
Oh,
It was
okay.
awesome. But he's very charismatic.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
he's
Yes.
so much fun on stage.
Yeah.
You're so coming on Monday. We got to go. I got to take you
I
down.
need to get out. Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah, yeah.
going. No,
Yeah.
we're going down there.
Done.
We've talked about the regulations. Hopefully, was it October 15th? You said.
So September
Sorry,
15th,
September
we're allowed events to happen again.
So that you're allowed to do your events that are
If the
not
client
in
will do it.
venues, right?
So this is what I learned this week, which is quite interesting. So there is two types of licenses. You have a venue license and an event license. Currently, as it is with the venue license, you're only allowed one performer
Yeah.
on stage.
Yeah.
However, if you were to have an event license in that venue through an event license, you're allowed multiple performers on stage. So yeah, so there's kind of
Okay.
Okay, that makes
So Dan
Yeah.
runs an event consultancy.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sensing the ulterior motive of the podcast now.
Yeah.
So the slight caveat to all of this is that things change on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You know, because we're looking at doing some stuff in a licensed venue in a hotel, and we were advised that go through an event license, not through the hotel license, because the restrictions are slightly different. And I'm sure at some point it will kind of marry together.
Yeah.
Well, you would hope by the time they say international events can happen that things will loosen up locally.
I mean, I'm guessing it's just and like I'm just. I don't know because I'm not on the inside, but I'm guessing, you know, it depends on what type of venue you're in and, you know, whether it's like, you know, a crazy brunch. I'm guessing they don't want
I wonder
to
if they'll
create
still have the
party
social
atmospheres.
distancing for the crowd, even if we're allowed a full band on.
Yeah.
Because actually, if, like you were there on Monday, we have the capacity, which is, I think, something like 30% of the total
About
capacity.
30-40% depending
with
on
social
the size.
distancing. But on the other hand, if we could do a full band, I still wouldn't do it because I think that's just weird.
Yeah.
Because
to play
there's not
full
enough.
band
For
and
that
And no,
size
and no,
audience.
but
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're not allowed to dance.
full band acoustic would be nice though.
Yeah.
Full band acoustic
think.
would be very
Yeah.
nice.
I mean,
It would be nice.
unfortunately, social distance is definitely going to be a thing for a while,
Well,
especially
you
as the
can't
event
dance. You couldn't even
restart.
get up and dance.
Oh, like I went
Do
to
you know what I
I
mean?
went
That
to
was
brunch a couple of weeks ago and it was
And
so
everyone was
funny. Like, the
dancing?
DJ's like pumping music and everyone's been drinking and it was literally like whack-a-mole. Like everybody was standing up. You could just see the doorman going and sit down and sit down and sit down. In the end, it was just like, mate, like
It's
just
just not
give
gonna
up.
work.
Like,
Let-
it's not. Because again, going back
Yeah,
to
but
everything
they
we've been
get
saying,
fined.
they do get fined, which is another thing. I mean, human nature is like people want to dance, people want to enjoy music, people want to have a good time.
I mean, look at what happened during the lockdown. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, during the absolute height of the first wave of the, you know, pandemic, you had, you know, certain places, I won't name them, but certain places opened up again and you had queues of people
I saw that
Oh
one.
yeah.
not
Yes,
not
that
caring
then-
about the social
that
distance.
then
They
made
just
it-
need to get out. They
Yeah.
just needed to.
which then meant that no one could go out
well,
after
yeah,
that.
exactly. It really messed
but
it up.
even now,
Yeah.
I know venues that are just doing bands.
Yeah.
And
There's-
I don't know
yeah.
whether it's a choice of like, well, you know what, we can afford a fine, so we'll risk it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're not getting looked at that closely. I don't know. But I know that we were like, we are going nowhere near fines.
Yeah.
Because
It's not worth it.
And also
No.
as well, like,
You know?
because especially where you perform, like Lockstock, you know, it's a very well-known
Reputable.
establishment.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
we get-
so
we've got eyes on us. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And I think like obviously when you position yourself as being like a leader within like an F&B industry or as performers or whatever, people have eyes on you, so you have to follow and obey the rules of the law. Because
Exactly.
we've been asked to do things. It's like, guys, we can't do that. Like,
Well, I was
it's
gonna
just not
say-
it's
Super
not
rock and roll,
possible.
innit?
Yeah.
I know.
We're
It's
gonna follow
following
these
the rules.
rules,
Following the rules.
everyone.
And in bed by 10 p.m. Sweet.
Yeah, we sign up every gig. Be kind to your mum. Follow the rules.
But you know, as you said, you would have had a lot of people like when it comes to pictures and this sort of that and the other wanting you to
Or
go
like,
outside.
Yeah, even right now, people are like going, "Oh, we're having a birthday party in like the Burj Al Arab," and it's like, well, you can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
it's actually not allowed.
That must be so difficult. Like you know, on one side you want to get back in there and start again,
Yeah.
and then on the other side it's like, well, that's not the way you want to start because then you'll get the wrong reputation.
And of course, and also because of the conversations
brand,
which we're
yeah.
having with venues and with DTCM and stuff like that, it's like if we do anything outside of the rules, then like we're screwed. Like,
When you do that, right? So someone contacts you. They want to do this event.
Yeah.
And it's in wherever Burj Al Arab or whatever, and you know that it's not allowed.
it wasn't the Burj Al Arab, by the way. I was
Or
just like
wherever
name
it is,
dropping.
I
Censor that out,
sorry.
Ryan.
I just picked,
Disclaimer.
I just picked a Burj.
Yeah. There's a few.
So let's say it's in a Burj.
Yeah.
They want to do an event. You know that they can't.
Yeah.
But they can just still choose to do it, right, and risk it, or.
That's their
like-
choice.
And what you're
Because
doing
it's-
is saying
it's
no
a-
because you don't want to screw
Well, you got-
yourself
you
up.
got-
Yeah,
manage
because we
your own
can't,
brand.
because like it'll be if it gets out,
It'll
you know,
be illegal,
people
yeah.
share stuff on social media, and it's like, well, why are you doing that when you're not allowed to? We're not
Yeah.
allowed social gatherings in a private capacity like that.
It's also you
especially
work
with
so
like up to like
hard.
50 odd people,
But like
60
you've
100
also
people.
worked so hard to build your brand. You know,
Yeah.
you've got
Well,
got a
yeah.
reputable brand, a brand that is looked to when it comes to events. You know, if you want to get something done right, these are
Yeah.
the agencies that you go to. These are the consultancies you go to. You're only as good as your last job.
Yeah.
So if all of a sudden you
Yeah.
bend that one time,
But I'll tell you what, though, it's really
It's
difficult
it's
watching
difficult right
people
now.
do stuff going,
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Yeah.
we're
And you're
suffering
being- and you're
because-
suffering.
Yeah, and also
we've had it with bands as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Do stuff,
and,
yeah.
and then you have to ask the question of those people that are bending the rules and taking that chance, are they going to ruin it for the rest of us? Are they going to
Exactly.
slow the process of
well,
us
does that
actually
mean a
coming
new
back?
caveat's going to come in or a
Exactly.
new regulation's going to come in? And,
Yeah.
you know, it's the same
Yeah.
thing with people not wearing masks, is it,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and so on
I mean,
and so
it
forth.
is that case of like, unfortunately a few people spoil it for everybody.
Yeah.
But we're moving ahead.
But that's all of life, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's why we have speed limits, because some people can't handle driving fast.
Yeah.
So we all have to drive slow because they're...
Like my mum. Anyway, so we always digress.
Well, that's the thing. I know I've got to. No. I'm telling you, I write the narrative, but we always answer them anyway.
Right,
We just go around the bend a little bit, a few roundabouts down the bush.
I'm looking off camera here. Are you going to be editing this?
Oh yeah. No. We've done well. I'm wrapping it up.
5 minutes now. Ryan's
I'm wrapping. Don't worry, Ryan. I'm wrapping it up. I'm wrapping it up
already. I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We're going to get you back again.
Do you want some water, John?
Yes, please. Yes, you are.
I'm gonna finish it off with this question, and we've sort of already delved into it. Is what advice do you have for other musicians who are sort of struggling right now or wanting to get back in there, and other venues? Like it's a nice ending. We're already sort of landing in there. We've started speaking about it a little bit, but more to the musicians.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about venues in a future episode. For me, it's the dynamic between the performer and the venue. I think that relationship is obviously quite vital now.
Yeah,
because venue. I'm going to probably slight little tangent. But venues are, some of them are struggling. I'm guessing with the restrictions and having like 30% when you need like 100% to get
with the same cost.
With the same cost, I mean, like, it's a challenge. But it's just about being fair, and that's what we were talking about previously.
Yeah.
Making sure that people don't use it as an excuse to, I guess, like not undercut, but to cut fees and to
drop the rates across the whole board.
Of course, that has to be consistent and fair.
But it becomes difficult again from with musicians, like you said. Okay, well, if a venue decides to do that and that's the only work that's going out there, what do you do? Do you say no? Because if you say yes, then you're bringing that standard down. You're saying it's okay to make the hourly rate this or the nightly
but
gig
then that's where I'm really interested in the dynamic, and you guys are good because I guess with Lockstock it's a residency and you've got that good relationship. But it's about how can you help me help you, and having that two-way conversation. Like you guys already, by dropping it down to one musician when you first reopened, obviously because you had to, but you even said it wasn't feasible to have the entire band with a limited audience. It just didn't feel the same.
And also
being honest,
because in those venues there are people who go there for the specific different bands.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, let's put someone from every band on one night. So
and you can cover people in. For sure.
Yeah. No, that part I thought it was that was a really good thing you guys
did. What was your original question?
But we are answering the question, which is what advice do you have to musicians? So this is the conversation.
Yeah,
rain it down on me.
No clue what to give advice for music. I mean, I think. You know what? I think it's hard because we don't have a music union here, so we don't actually have
union. What is
I
that?
know.
Sorry, what?
I know.
The amount of conversations I've had over the last 6 months with people wanting to start unions, it's actually really difficult.
Yeah.
They're illegal for a start.
Yeah, exactly.
Even associations are really difficult to get together.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's not going to happen. So I think the best thing the musicians and the venues can do is actually work together and go, look, we understand what's happened now. We understand that you don't have the budgets anymore. So, of course it's not going to come, we're not going to come back and go, well, it's this much and it's exactly what it was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
I think there has to be almost like any other industry, there has to be a timeline. There has to be some kind of plan, like like you'd have a repayment plan. Like, okay, well, we'll do it for this long, while we're rebuilding and we're all recovering. And then, let's call it the 2020 initiative towards the end. And then,
when I hate that year already.
Yeah, I really do. But then, as long as we have an agreement that, as we go on, this is not an excuse to basically undercut musicians and go, well, we're going to just get you for this from now on.
Because then you become a commodity.
Exactly.
And that's a challenge across all of entertainment. It has been here for a long time.
Yeah, but you're also going to just lose all the entertainers. You're going to lose a huge amount of very, very accomplished performers out
they'll
here.
put up with it because they don't have options at the moment. But as soon as things get healthy, they'll be out of there.
That's where the relationship is vital because you guys bring a lot. Bring a lot of value to a venue. Exactly. Whether it's like your fan base, your followers, the music and the experience that you guys create. And obviously the venues provide you with the venue to enable to do it. It's a two-way partnership. But I think often, unfortunately, it's often seen, I guess, like venues just see performers as commodities. It's like, well, if you don't want to do it, I'm going to replace you. But it's like, well, hang on a minute, like you still need that.
But I'd also say to the venues, and I think this is where Lockstock and Solutions have it right at times with this. It's don't just from the venue point of view, don't bring in a band and just go, well, we're just bringing a band. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of them change
They
every
do.
3 months,
Yeah.
and they just stick them on stage, and that should
And you're a
that should
filler.
and that should bring in people.
Yeah.
It's not gonna.
It's not.
We want
Especially now.
especially now.
Yeah.
So if you want to bring in a band right now, you know, treat it as a tourist attraction.
Yeah, it's an extension of the marketing campaign.
Exactly.
I would look
Yeah.
at it as an investment.
It's an
Exactly.
investment.
Which,
100%.
Yeah.
which is why
100%.
we did the things down to licensing more than anything. That you have to have
Yeah.
licenses for performers, and we were like, right, okay, well, we're gonna invest in these musicians, and they're going to be with us as long as they can.
Yeah.
Of course, you run the risk of like audience fatigue if you
Yeah,
want a
true.
different band, but I would rather have a team of people who are happy and have a good stage, and I know I can count on them.
Yeah.
I
And
know I can
dedicated.
call John tomorrow and be like, right, sorry, it's short notice, but you're going
Can
to
you?
Abu Dhabi and your whole band's going and do 2 sets for me, and John will be like, oh, that sounds terrible, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate
So,
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Pay me back later.
But I
I'm on
think
my
you
way.
You've
right
heard our
now-
conversations before. Then.
yeah. They're not as polite.
Have you not figured out by now that after the other night Lily stalked you?
yeah.
She's like your number one
I gotta get my
groupie.
panties back.
But,
I do have them with me, so it's.
Put 'em on
he
stage.
signed them with the hashtag. Last night.
Ryan, we're so censoring some of this.
No. This is the most
That wasn't even
Run 40 minutes.
that mean
Nobody will be
does that
watching.
mean
by
We're,
now.
we're 10 minutes over.
We've been talking for 40
Oh, I
minutes.
thought that meant 40 minutes left.
No, we've been talking for 40 minutes. People have switched off by now. It's
Yeah.
fine.
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Guys, have more confidence. Come on. How do you think we get through it? By faking it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, well, there you go. That's the advice, everyone. Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Pretend.
Wow.
Pretend. Yeah.
Listen, thank you guys so much for coming
Thank
in.
you.
It's been an absolute hoot. Mondays. Hoot.
Hoot. Yeah.
Hoot.
Hoot.
I like the way
Well,
you
I
said it
just-
really Aussie, like
I just-
hoot. It's been an absolute hoot.
Oh, Irish then.
that
didn't
did
know.
not sound
Ah,
Australian.
it's been a hoot.
We just
I've got it.
alienated
I've
so
got,
many
I've got it.
people.
I've got it in my head not to swear.
I
too
alienate my audience all the time using northern expressions. And
I
I
alienate
always
them by directly telling them that. Why are you here? You can do better than this.
Yes. I'm disappointed in you.
well,
Leave.
all
Right,
those people that
I'm
want to
dying.
see you. When can they see you guys again? Monday nights.
So currently we're doing Monday nights in Lock, Stock and Barrel, Barsha Heights. Start about 9ish.
That's the posh name for TCOM.
I know. Oh, I miss TCOM.
Yeah, TCOM.
Yeah.
Love a bit of TCOM.
Yeah.
TCOM sounds
Stuck
like
in,
a
mate.
phone direction
not letting-
telecoms company.
You're not letting us finish.
Sorry, I'm really enjoying it. I was going to start talking about northern slang, but I thought,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
otherwise we're going to be here all day.
Yeah.
And then you can see us in Lock, Stock and Barrel JBR.
Fantastic.
On Wednesdays.
That's
Yeah.
LSP2.
LSP2, yeah.
Until something else changes and we come up with a new plan.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But the next plan will be a more exciting one than this.
Brilliant.
Has
Well,
to be.
when that happens, we'll probably get you guys back in and to tell us a little bit more
I'm
about
coming
that.
back in
That'd
next
be
week.
great.
You're going to come back and
I know,
yeah,
I'm
we're
excited.
gonna-
No, I mean every week.
Every
man.
week.
I like this.
Just, yeah, you're about
This
to
is his
turn
new
house
lounge.
now.
This is his new lounge.
brilliant.
Brilliant. Then we're doing something right.
Yeah, happy days.
We've just made it into the cool group.
All right, cool group.
I don't know.
Oh, guys, you have
my
so much judge.
Yeah.
If we've given up, if we've given up
told
that
you.
impression,
You need to aim
we've done
higher.
well.
Hey, we're in with the rockers. What are you on
told
about?
you she's a groupie, just be careful.
This goes back to the crowd. You deserve better.
I deserve better.
Lila's going to start knocking on your door at 3 o'clock in the morning going,
Hey guys, I want to have another hoot.
right, we're
Right,
gonna be here
that's
forever.
it. We're wrapping up.
Okay.
We're wrapping up.
Guys, thank you so much,
so much
Honestly,
for
it was
coming
so
in.
fun.
Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
us.
Thank
Until
you.
next time. Bye.
See you later.
Right.
Hey, it's Joe Mango here down in Asman with the Quest for Adventure guys. They do some amazing kayaking tours through the mangroves, but also they do a little bit of wakeboarding as well, and hopefully I can do better than that guy. Wish me luck. So we've now come to the mangroves in Ajman and we're about to go do some kayaking. amazing day down at the mangroves in Asman. Elaine, thank you so much.